If you thought you managed to escape winter, and I suspect some of us did, it's arrived. And according to the Met Service, it's a month late, but it's going to make up for that. Blizzard-like conditions with heavy snowfall and cold winds are expected from early morning tomorrow across Southland, Otago and Canterbury. Roads are already closing in some areas. State Highway 94 from Te Anau to Milford Sound was the first to close at 5 o'clock tonight. A short time ago, Met Service meteorologist Georgina Griffiths came into the studio to tell me, well, what we can expect.
Well, I mean, maximums of 5 or 6 by the end of the week for places like Dunedin, plus wind chill, blizzard-like conditions once the snow comes in, and we'll talk about where and when the snow is likely to fall. And even, Christchurch and into Wellington, temperatures are really going to drop from Thursday, Friday and into Saturday. So in for a very cold week, and even that cold lingers into the week following. So the first half of August, extremely cold for the South Island. Welcome to winter.
So unusually cold for August?
Yes, so we're running late this year. Of course, we've had such a mild winter to date, and I think it will come as a bit of a shock to the system, and it's a bad time of year, the lambing and the calving, and unless you're a ski field, in which case you've had lots of snow in the last week and you're going to get a lot more. So let's talk about this as a widespread low snow event for the east of the South Island. Heavier snow starts kicking in from 6 a.m. tomorrow, and we're really looking for heavy snow above 400 metres, so 15 to 30 centimetres if you're inland Southland, inland Otago, inland Canterbury, south of Fairlie. So that's where the current warning is in force.
Of course, so above 400 metres is actually quite low, isn't it? I mean, lots of inland central Otago, for example, it would all be above 400 metres.
That's right, so heavy and low snow. Now, what happens next, of course, we've got to watch for the remainder of the eastern South Island, so North Canterbury, Kaikoura Coast for Thursday, Friday, and the snow lingers. So expect further snow to even lower levels Thursday, Friday, Otago, Southland, also Canterbury and likely the Kaikoura Coast. Snow flurry expected into possibly on Saturday for the Rimataka Hill Road, and of course all of the ski fields will get a lot more. But it's going to be cold, prolonged, southeasterly, really going to impact widespread and snow lowering even further as we move into the second half of the week. So yeah, significant disruption to things like transport, roading, potentially power lines, depending on how fragile where you live and how fragile the network is or not. And so it's a cold event. It's a really unusual event.
So this is a genuine winter blast. So there will
That's
be
right.
road closures, there may be lines down, and there will be bitterly cold winds with it?
I think a bit of a shock to the system for even the townies or people who live right at sea level. It's going to be cold, very cold in the next 2 weeks, but particularly the back half of this week for Eastern South Island and also Wellington, let's not forget Wellington. Also Gisborne, Hawke's Bay, Wairarapa in line for some heavy rain and or snow above 700 metres potentially as we move in the weekend. So it's going to be raining and onshore and cold and gloomy for the Eastern North Island. They don't mind the rain so much, but that's the roading around the central plateau for the weekend, likely to see some snow in Tongariro National Park, of course all the ski fields around the Taihape area. So yeah, if you're travelling in the next 6 or 7 days, you're going to have to check in with all the road snow warnings that we've got in place.
And Georgina, forgive my ignorance as a townie, but you mentioned before lambing.
That's
this
right.
August would be quite early lambing though, wouldn't it?
Depends where you are in the country. Of course, the Waikato's already started, and whilst we're not expecting snow north of Taupo, it's going to be pretty chilly, even for places like Tauranga and Hamilton and Auckland. That wind chill is going to be noticeable, so rug up the kids warm, and if you're farming, you're going to have to think about the wind chill even for the upper North Island. So cold event coming.
Georgina, we talked about this at the beginning, but this does sound like July weather rather than August weather. When was the last time we had an August that was quite this cold?
Well, actually, it is July weather, okay? We're running a month late and bang, welcome to winter. So we are going to have the temperatures we should have had about a month ago, those power balls and rugging up the kids and all the rest of it, low, widespread snow, wind chill, blizzard-like conditions for the farming community once it starts snowing in the next few days if you're at altitude and in those exposed places. So if you remember last year we actually had a really cold and frosty July.
Yeah, I do remember.
Yeah, and that sort of prolonged into September. We had a very cold September last year, and that was an El Nino thing. This one, it's pure and simple Southern Ocean. So it's just a mean, long-lived southerly coming off the ice for us.
Georgina Griffiths, who is a fantastic meteorologist, and we always really enjoy her company when she comes into the studio.